Some news just catches you off guard. And that was certainly the case with the report that Olivia Miles would not only be skipping the 2025 WNBA draft, but would be entering the transfer portal. This is a double whammy. The report coming from Shams Charania of ESPN, because one, Miles was expected to be the number 2 pick in the draft, or certainly right near the top. And two, because of the transfer aspect of it. I don't think Miles deciding to stay in college is that shocking. The WNBA has these CBA negotiations, which could change the rookie pay scale depending on how things shake out. So if you're eligible for the draft now, it could behoove you to wait so that you can get paid more later. Not to mention the way NIL is in the college game, where you're not incentivized to leave for more dough in the pros. But the decision to enter the transfer portal, when Notre Dame had this core together and Hannah Hidalgo is still there and Miles and Hidalgo made that backcourt together, is certainly shocking. But apparently Miles is going to leave the Irish for greener pastures elsewhere. The way that this was reported, by the way, is from Shams Charania of ESPN, which in itself is a big deal that women's basketball news is now being reported in that way. And I think that is, significant, that he's the one dropping these sort of bombs on fans at this point. And you had it right there, right? Like, that's a moment. There's big time games going on, and this news drops, and fans stop in their tracks for a second. Now, as far as what it means, I that's tough to say, because I'd have to know what went on behind the scenes at Notre Dame. Was there an issue with some of her teammates? Was there an issue with her coach? Was there no issue at all, and she just has a better offer from somewhere else? I mean, it's almost like free agency at the college level, which is such a strange dynamic. The transfer portal is such a strange dynamic, and the entire thing has become the Wild West, right? Like, I kind of like Audie Crooks standing on business and saying she's going to remain at Iowa State. Not that anybody can't make any move that they want, but we've seen Haley Van Lith at Louisville, and then at LSU, and now at TCU. Kiki Iriafen transferred over to USC and was playing, and so many different players you see move, and shake Tanai Latson entering the transfer portal, Cody McMahon entering the transfer portal. Just so many different players have thrown their name in that hat, and it's just a frenzy. And I guess the way that the current collegiate game is right now. But where the downside, I think, is for Miles, is that I don't know if she'll ever be projected that high again. She had a very good year, obviously a bounce back year from injury. But to me, one thing that always separated her a little bit on the downside of the separation was I didn't see her as that much of a scorer. And she hit shots at a really good clip early in the season. But again, those same concerns surfaced for me as the season went along. Is this somebody who can get their own shot? Is this somebody that's going to be able to put pressure on the defense in that way? Defensively strong enough consistently. There was a period of time where she got sat down for defense. So I don't know if this wasn't as good as it was going to get for her as a prospect. So that's where the downside comes in. I don't think it's shocking on the surface that she would skip the draft to stay in college. Though you might expect her to chase a national championship at Notre Dame. Perhaps she's chasing a national championship elsewhere. Perhaps she's also chasing the money in the future WNBA deal. Perhaps she's chasing the money in an NIL deal. But all of those things are on the table. That doesn't mean it's a bad decision. That doesn't mean she won't continue to thrive. But number 2 overall, I'm not so sure she'll remain in that spot, because other people will make their names heard. Other people will step up. And there's a long way between now and the end of next season. With that said, maybe she's just betting on herself too. And speaking from experience, that's not always a bad idea. Or I should say, it's never bet on yourself. How about that? Let's end on that note.